In this video, I'm going to go through our process. I'm going to walk you through exactly how we're going to get you more first conversation for your business. I'm going to take you through every single step of the way to help you understand what it is that we do and how we help you get more appointments and more deals under contract. The biggest thing that we've learned along the way, when we're generating leads or when we're trying to actually build a business, there's a few things we need to consider here. What we found is that in order to close deals, we need more people that are ready. Now, if you have ready people, really at the end of the day, all you need to really focus on are two things. You need to focus on having a contract, and then really you just need to get them through escrow and you need to actually close the deal. When you have ready people, when you have people in front of you that are ready, this is really at the end of the day, your magic. This is just your ability to close more sales, to sell and persuade. And a lot of people are really good at that. You know, they get a lot of referrals and they get a lot of business because they build a lot of their business around referrals. So something that we've learned along the way is, like, in order to get a lot of ready people, majority of the time, clients are working with referrals, meaning they're working with, past somebody actually introduced them to another person. And when you're working with referrals, it can be absolutely amazing. But, people don't generally wake up first thing in the morning and say, how can I actually refer somebody to you? But referrals really at the end of the day for you are going to take a lot of work. This is actually reaching out to your database, connecting with people, going to coffees. When you work your referral base or you work your sphere of influence, you do your magic. And this is generally where we see majority of people get a lot of great results inside the business, is because they generally work on sphere of influence and referrals. And referrals are amazing, but like I mentioned, not many people wake up first thing in the morning and think, how can I refer John more business today? Or how can I refer Jay more business today? It just doesn't happen. That's why we've created a system in a way that actually gets you more ready people. But there's a lot of time, there's a lot of effort that go into actually getting you more people that are actually ready. In order to get more ready people, there's this section here we call the first conversation. Now, in order to get the first conversation, there's a lot of work and there's a lot of time that go into actually getting you to a point where you can have this first conversation and you can have really good people that are actually ready and willing to buy or sell real estate. But in order to get there, something we've learned along the way is that there are a lot of things here at the bottom that need to be accomplished in order to actually get that first conversation. Like I said, your magic over here, which is kind of what we consider phase 3, which is, getting ready people, getting them under contract, creating the close. Over the last couple of years, we've been generating a lot of leads. In order to even get a first conversation, we need to do what we call lead gen. So we need to get people's names, we need to get their email address, we need to get their phone number. And this takes a lot of strategy. It takes a lot of skill. It takes a team to do this. It takes a lot of tech. And it takes a lot of time in order to actually generate leads and actually to get names, email addresses, and phone numbers. Lead gen, it really, at the end of the day, it's still not enough. Like, there's still more that is going to go into actually getting people that are ready or even willing to have a first conversation. And this is where this next stage of the actual puzzle fits in. It's called speed to lead. And you've probably heard of this before. Essentially what speed to lead is if you contact somebody within the first 5 minutes of them actually clicking the button, you increase your contact rate by 100 times. But we know that for the most part, this is still only 10% of the marketplace that essentially is going to be doing a speed to lead. And maybe you've heard of like 10 days of pain, or you've heard of like, follow up for 5 to 7 days. This is only one element that actually creates the first conversation. It's still only one specific element that, the speed of lead is going to get you the first conversation, which is why we've created another step that we call multi-channel follow-up. So essentially what multi-channel follow-up is, it's a way that we actually get you more people that are talking to you and creating more conversation. There is a lot of time and effort that goes into the multi-channel follow-up, which is, you need to have a CRM, you need to be able to text people, you need to be able to email them. These are all ways that are actually going to get you the other 90%, which is the follow-up. Interesting stat that said if you contact somebody 7 times or more, you can actually increase your contact rate by 70%. And that's why we need to make sure that we manage a pipeline in the CRM, we text them, we email them. We also need to have a landing page, opt-in opportunities to make sure that they have other opportunities to opt into other things. And we need to have a call center that is actually calling them. So there's a lot of things that actually go into actually even creating that first conversation. And that's really our golden prize, is creating this first conversation, because the ready people are amazing. And then we do a little bit of this, like we become happy because we have ready conversations. But people, like I mentioned, don't wake up and say, I'm ready to work with Jay, or I'm ready to work with John. It takes a lot of time and effort. And the cool thing about our system is this is actually our job. So our job here is to actually generate the lead, to do the speed of lead, to do the multi-channel follow-up, to have the strategy, to scale the team, to tech the time, and actually get you as many first conversations as we possibly can. Now, once we get the first conversation, this is what we call phase 2. And what we do inside of phase 2, this is a partnership. And this is where it becomes very important to us, because this is 80% us, and then it's 20% you. And the reason that it's 80% us and 20% you is because we need your assistance to know who you talk to, what you talk to them about. Did they show up to the meeting? Did they not show up to the meeting? Do they need more nurture? We need to know specifically what happened to them. And this is where the partnership kind of comes in. We do all the front end work, but the partnership really comes into play of like, where are these people at in your pipeline? This is where the feedback comes in. Are the ads working? Where are the bottlenecks? Is it in multi-channel follow-up? Is it in the beginning? We really need to know specifically where people are at in your pipeline, which is why we give you a dedicated CRM. We essentially show you specifically what you need to do in the CRM in order to move people. My hallucination is that majority of the business that you've worked on probably in the past has come from referrals, which is absolutely amazing. But in order to build a sustainable and scalable business, we've surveyed some of the top agents in North America. And what we've come to realize is that they have a steady flow of first conversations that are happening on a daily basis, because the world is full of a few things. So if this were the world over here, you really, at the end of the day, have a few different things. Like we chatted earlier about referrals. So you have people that know you. And that's amazing when people know you, because when people know you, you do your magic. And this is where the magic really happens, is when people know you. You take them from ready, you take them to contract, you take them to close. And that's all fine and dandy, but the world is also full of people that you don't know. And when you work with people you don't know, there's a different process that you need to take in order to get people from contract to close. Because if we back up and we talk about everything here, and we talk about everything that's required in order to get that first conversation, what we've kind of come to realize is there's a few things that happen in order to get that first conversation, in order to do the 80% us, 20% you, in order for you to work your magic. There's everything over here that really needs to make sure that we master in order to get people ready. So there's this line here. There's all of this work over here that goes into actually creating the first conversation. And like I mentioned earlier with referrals, what we've come to realize over the last couple of years is that in order to get the actual ready people, we need to nurture them. We need to get them to a point where they're ready to have a conversation with us. So what does that look like? I'm going to take you through. So what we do in order to take people that don't know you to contract to close is we need to use programs like Facebook, Instagram. We use TikTok. We use Google. We use a multi-channel approach that is going to actually get you more eyeballs from people that you don't know. In order to get the more eyeballs from the people that you don't know, we essentially need to create a system. So we've created a dedicated system that is actually going to get you people that you don't know to contract to close. Say, for example, this system has one specific person. So we now have a person, they're here. We still need to get them to the point where they know you. And how we do that and how we get them to the point where they know you is we call them. So we have our call center up here. Plus what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of emailing, and we're also going to do some texting as well. And this is essentially going to create a speed to lead approach using our dedicated CRM. But what's also going to happen here is not only are we going to do the dedicated speed to lead, We also have what we call multi-channel lifetime nurture. If you remember back to coming up here, the 80%, 20% you, we need to make sure that all these first conversations are still being nurtured over time, which is what we call our multi-channel lifetime nurture. And all of this multi-channel lifetime nurture is really to create our golden prize that we consider, the first call. Because if you can't get the first call, you're not going to get the second, you're not going to get the third, you're not going to get the referral. Our goal is to create as many first conversations as we possibly can for you to get you to a point where you're actually closing more deals and you're talking to more ready people. But in order to talk to more ready people, we need to get people from don't know to see an ad to actually get a call or to get a text or to get an email. We need to do the speed the lead, but we also need to do the multi-channel lifetime nurture in order to actually physically get them into that first conversation. And then we continue to nurture them over time. Only 10% of people, like we mentioned earlier, are actually going to say yes. So 10% in the speed to lead, we're going to capture because they are ready to go now. And this is really only 10% of people that are physically ready. Now, where all the money is made is in the people that are not necessarily ready right now. Because we have our people that are ready, but not everyone is consistently ready. So what is required of those people that aren't necessarily ready? 10% that might say no, but there's 40 over here that might say not right now. And there's another 40 that are just thinking about it. What do they need? There's 40% of people that need more education, 40% of people that need more time. And that's essentially what we do for you in order to get more people that are ready. But in order to get more people that are ready, we need to give them more time and we need to give them more education. And in the 90 over here is where all your money is made, which is why we create our lifetime nurture. How we do this is fairly simple. We take a person. So say, for example, person over here. And what we do is we qualify them with a set of questions. So for buyers, generally, we do about 7 to 9 questions. We'll just say 7 Qs. And for sellers, we do about 7 questions as well, because we want to essentially transfer you people that are at least thinking about having a conversation. And one of the 3 things is going to happen when we actually get somebody in front of you. Either they're going to say yes, which is absolutely amazing. And if we come back up here, this is kind of where the contract can close because they're ready. They want to have a conversation about real estate. They're looking to buy or sell. So one of the 3 things is going to happen. They're either going to say yes, and that's absolutely amazing. If they say yes, we know that your magic will take over and you will, you will crush it. Now, there's also, however, a potential that they say maybe. And this is where a lot of agents get stuck in the maybe, or they get stuck in the not right now, or they potentially get stuck in the no. All the money is made in the maybes and the no's. Specifically in the maybes and the not now. When somebody says maybe or they say not right now, really, like I mentioned earlier, is really all they need is they need more time or they need more education about the market. And you guys are super smart in what you do. And if you give them more time and more education, you're going to close more deals. Really, our goal is to create more ready people. But in order to get them there, we need to create more first conversations so that you can get them to the point where they are ready. So how we do this and how we qualify them and how we get people to the ready stage inside of this first conversation, like I said, it was 80% us, 20% you. Now, how we do this and how we create what we call lifetime nurture, there is 3 ways that we need your help with when we're thinking about lifetime nurture. If you were to just do lifetime nurture, you would absolutely crush it. If you put everyone in lifetime nurture, you would have a really good result inside your business because everyone in your database would be consistently nurtured. We call this lifetime nurture. If you just do this is about 80% of people. If you just do this, you'll absolutely crush it. Majority of people are not doing lifetime nurture. And this is why I said earlier, it's 80% us, 20% you. We essentially have forms that we fill out on a weekly basis, or clients fill out on a weekly basis, because there's some industry level knowledge that we just don't have. You have the knowledge. We try to make it as simple as possible in order to create the lifetime nurture. But through tried and true tested emails over the last 10 years, working with some of the top agents in the marketplace, we've actually created a lifetime nurture campaign, tried and true, tested, so that when you talk to somebody through email or through text, we have 3 years total worth of email and text nurture just to stay top of mind, because we know that in order to get somebody ready, you need to consistently have conversations with them. But step number 1 inside of lifetime nurture is the 3 years that's already built out for you. Like we already have this built out. You don't have to worry about it. We will do the nurturing for you. But there's 2 things that we need your help with. So the first thing is what we call the deal of the week. And essentially, deal of the week is a email and text message that we fire weekly about the market in order to create more first conversations, because the more first conversations we can create, the better results we get. But we need your feedback from that. And we need also not only your feedback with the deal of the week, we need your feedback about appointments, and we need people moved inside of the system, because if you're not moving, if you're not doing the 20% here with the email and the text follow-up, if you're not moving them to missed call needs rebook, or if you're not moving them to search list activated working client or CMA done, all of the back-end drip nurture is not going to fire. So you're missing out on this simply by not managing your CRM. 3 years worth of nurture that is going to get you more ready people. So you need to move people in the CRM. So inside of your CRM, there's a section that says missed call needs rebooked. That fires a campaign. There's a section in your CRM called a search list activated now working with client. That fires a campaign. There's a section called CMA done working with client. That fires a campaign to continue to stay top of mind. This is the lifetime nurture. So that's phase 1. And the third thing that we are doing is a market update. There's a form you're going to essentially fill. And this is how we help you create lifetime nurture inside your business. Some of it's tailored, and this is why we say it's 80% us, 20% you. Now, if you really want to take it to a whole nother level, what you need to do is you need to set everyone up on an IDX search list, and just so that they essentially have an IDX, and so they get E alerts. Essentially, the importance of the IDX and E alerts is like, we're going to do all these things like the text, we're going to do the deal of the week, we're going to do the market update, 80% us, 20% you. If you really want to take things to a whole nother level in your business, you're going to do these 2 things, and this is the 20%. That is going to really take you over the finish line. The IDX and just the alerts. Now, if you really want to be amazing, you will actually have an in-house ISA, or you'll do this yourself, where you essentially will have the IDX and you're going to have alerts, but you're also going to call and text people as they favorite. So as they favorite, and you're going to ask them if they want to go see those homes. You have somebody on the back end that is dedicated, like an ISA or you, depending on how large your team is. Somebody on the back end is going to actually send out messages, because really our job and where we really see great results is getting as many first conversations as we possibly can. Like I said, if you do nothing else other than just move people in the CRM, it's going to be great. But if you really want to go to a whole other level, you'll have somebody dedicated on the back end that is just calling and texting people about properties that they're actually viewing in the IDX. Our job is to create the first conversation. Your job is to get ready people over the finish line. So this is kind of the high-level overview on what we do, how we do it. I hope it brings a lot of clarity in regards to the fact of everything that goes into the front end, and kind of the difference between what we do with referrals and what we do with lead gen, because there's so many different layers, like I mentioned, of lead gen, the speed to lead, the multi-channel follow-up, all to get you that first conversation to the point where they're ready. Your magic takes over. But like I said, 80% us, 20% you. The 80% need time and they need education. And we need to make sure that we capture the maybes and the not right now through lifetime nurture, through, and this is really how we create sustainability in your business, and we get more people that are ready over time. I just want to end with this. These alerts, these messages, you just got to move people. This is why we say 80%, 80% us, 20% you. As long as you move people, we will take care of the rest. We will call people. Deal of the week, we've already launched. And market update, at the time of this video, we are just about to launch that as well. This is where the lifetime nurture. But if you really want to take things to a whole nother level, you'll do the ISA and the alerts. This is the 20% that's going to get you over the finish line even faster and get you more ready people that are looking for contract to close. So hope you got a ton of value today. I hope that this gave you a ton of insight on how you get more people from the ready stage to the contract to close. But what we do on the back end and all the hard and the complex work on the front end, this is hard and this is complex. And this is what we're doing for you on the front end. in order to actually create more first conversations. Because the more first conversations we get, the better results we get. And really, again, your success is our success. And it's so important that we try to create as many first conversations as we can. Like I mentioned, some will be ready right now, some won't. And if they're not ready right now, this is where we drop them into what we call lifetime nurture. So hope you got a ton of value today. If you have any questions, please reach out and let us know. And we'll chat with you soon.